This is a bridge, and a bridge is a structure that helps facilitate communication or movement. I'll say that again. A bridge is a structure that helps facilitate communication or movement. That means it helps with access. It helps you cross and get to the other side. So it's safe to say that the more bridges that you burn in life, then the less places you can cross, the less places that you can communicate with, the less people, however you want to apply it. And also, on the other hand, the more bridges that you build, purposeful bridges, bridges with intention, bridges that you build to facilitate communication and movement just to get to know somebody, not to see what you can get from them, but to see, just to genuinely get to know them. Bridges are beautiful structures. Why? Because metaphorically speaking, bridges represent healing or reconciliation of people that have also gone through trouble, gone through strife, had arguments. Bridges help with that reconnect. So bridges are important structures. But unfortunately, in life, we burn a lot of our bridges. And if you keep burning bridges, you can no longer facilitate communication or movement. So a bridge is something that's built over an obstacle. A bridge is built where there is no way. For example, this is Tower Bridge. There's water, the Thames. A bridge was built over the Thames, the water, the obstacle, to allow access, to allow communication, to allow movement. So the bridges we build in life are so important. Now we're living in a time where it's every man and woman for themselves. We're living in a time where we're being desensitized to things by the day. So most people be like, fuck that, I'm not building no new bridges. I don't want to meet nobody new. I don't want to know no one. I'm just fighting for survival myself. But what type of bridges are you building? Are you building purposeful bridges? Or are you just building bridges that lead to nowhere? Because let's face it, some bridges do lead to nowhere. Some of you don't want to build no bridges. Some of you want to build absolutely no bridges, and you definitely don't want to look after any bridges that are already built. And some of you have had the same bridges in life that rarely get any maintenance, they rarely get looked after, and they rarely get traveled. So if we don't travel the bridges that may be over our obstacles, stay with me, then we don't receive any change. Now, if we look at bridges in terms of healing, or as in terms of self-growth, or even in terms of purpose, some of you never cross. Some of you are happy staying on one side and just looking out onto the other. And it's safe to say, in them terms, the more bridges that you build for yourself, in growth, in life, in purpose, then on purpose, then the better for your life, no? So I have a question for you. What type of bridges are you building in life? Are you building bridges that go nowhere? Are you building bridges that are meant to last and maintain? Are you building bridges on purpose, for a reason? What type of communication and movement are you facilitating when you build these bridges? Let's face it, we've all built the wrong bridges in life at some point or another, for the wrong reasons, for the wrong people, for a costly price. And we've even burnt bridges for the same reason. We have burnt bridges for the same reason. When we're young, growing up in a neighborhood, we're actually taught to burn bridges. For some reason, it all starts out as we're friends with everybody, and then as you grow up, everybody falls out. Bridges are burnt on both sides. Now there's no communication, and now there's no movement. This is same happening to our children right now. You hear our children that call themselves gang members, they can't go here, they can't go there. They've burnt their bridges. So they can no longer facilitate communication or movement. They're referring to a postcode. We see it in families also. Brothers and sisters don't talk. Mums and kids don't talk. Parents and kids don't talk. The grandma doesn't talk to the son-in-law. You know how it goes. And those bridges and those structures are so important. Why? Because that speaks to lineage. That speaks to who you are. You know, sisters don't talk. So the family grows up seeing that sisters don't talk their whole life. So nobody's addressing the problem. Nobody is building bridges for reconciliation. Bridges are key. Why? Because they are structures. They're monuments. They've been built to stand the test of time. However, they do need maintenance, but they are structures that facilitate communication or movement. There are cars and lorries and vans on this bridge right now that come from one side of London and have to go to the other. They're delivering stuff. That bridge allows them to do that. It allows them to cross the obstacle. What question to you is, what obstacles in life do you have to cross right now? If a bridge is a structure that facilitates communication and movement, then our bodies are also a structure that need the facilitation of communication and movement to get to where we want to go. Hear me now. So I don't know where you want to go. I don't know what it is that you're working on, but I do know that I speak about being on your purpose. I do know that I speak about healing. I do know that I'm here to motivate and spread a message. But whatever's going on in your life right now, I would give the advice to build the meaningful bridges. But also think about this one. What bridges need to be reconciled? Because what we are good at is saying what we don't like, who we don't like, why we don't like them. But what we are not good at is reconciling, speaking, talking, building a bridge back to the times when arguments wasn't taking place. That takes bravery and that takes courage. So if our bodies are the structures, the bridge is the apparatus for the communication, for the movement, then my advice would be to rebuild those bridges that mean something to you. Life's short, families argue, you know, and they rarely reconcile. They rarely reconcile, and that's a shame. And that's a shame. So yeah, we're here today, and we're just giving thanks, thinking about the beautiful structures that are bridges, what they stand for, what they mean, what they can mean, and what you can do with them. So this is one of my first messages that I got when I started making content. And I started making content for, you know, with this message, it was mainly for, you know, the young boys and girls in our neighborhoods that are going through difficult times, you know, that are not fully understanding themselves. They're operating in a way that we know is not them. That's safe to say, right? And it just makes me think about when I was younger and when I was of the world and I was running around and I was burning bridges. And the thing about the bridges that I burned, it was rarely just because of me, which makes it even worse. It was my friends arguing with people. It was the people I hung around with, you know? So they were burning bridges. I also burnt a few bridges as well, and I'm part of that as well, right? And I realized as these bridges were getting burnt, that the communication just stopped. As these bridges were getting burnt, the movement of the places we went to or could go to was limited. We couldn't communicate and we was limited in where we could go. Or any psychiatrist will tell you that from you cannot communicate or you struggle to communicate, you get frustrated. So the more bridges we burn, the less communication we was having, the less we were backed up into a certain area for safety, we became more frustrated. And when I grew up and I realized this, I realized how many bridges I actually burnt and how many good people are on the other side of that communication, you know? And now I go about my life, you know, you see me all the time. I'm solo, I roll solo. I roll by myself, you know? I know the pitfalls of having some friends. I'm not saying all friends, but I know the pitfalls of that. I know the downsides of that. And I learned a terrible and unfortunate lesson. So when I think about that in my adult life now, I think about the bridges that I did burn and where I could have done better. I think about the bridges that I would like to rebuild as reconciliation. And then I think about, you know, the bridges and structures from myself, within myself, my world within, to build in me, so my world without will manifest how I want it to manifest. Stay with me, let me cook. So once I knew that, and I knew the importance of the structures of bridges, I started building those bridges within myself and treating myself as a structure that now knows better. And with that, I started building bridges within myself that would show up out of myself, so the outer world will see what was built in me. And I've naturally and obviously started facilitating communication and movement. Even being on camera, that is that bridge that I had to grow through, to be able to go through, to get over the obstacle of not wanting to talk, to now speak on camera. That's a perfect example. And now I'm able to speak on camera because I've gone through that obstacle. I'm now able to facilitate communication or movement. You see it there? Come on. And that is it. As we give thanks on the bank of the Thames River, Tower Bridge standing over us. Bridges are what, guys? By now you should know. If you want to cross, to get to the other side, you have to be brave enough to build a structure that goes over the actual obstacle or the thing you need to traverse. This way it comes back to self, or things that we may be going through, the things that we may be going through inside, to get to the other side. And for the other side today, for many people, can look like different things. The other side for some people may be healing. The other side for some people may be reconciliation or a reconnecting of their peoples or of peoples. The other side for some may be self-growth. You know? So this message hits many people. This message hits many people. And that will show you the importance of a structure like a bridge. And because I'm staying close by, I'm actually out with my mum. It was her birthday yesterday, so we stayed up here. And I saw the bridge. We walked over the bridge to have dinner. And I saw this spot. And I said, listen, I have to bring the bridges back. It's one of my first videos. Check it out on social media. And it was a really important message for me. When I first recorded this, I was standing or saw, it was almost like, I want to say a drawbridge, but it's not a drawbridge, but it was a little bridge on a riverwalk. It was just a little bridge on a riverwalk, right? And it was secure, it was sturdy, but it was a small bridge. But that small bridge in that moment, that small bridge in that moment gave me a massive message. And now, lo and behold, by doing the right things and getting through the right obstacles and just navigating life, because in life, we do get challenges. I'm now standing at a massive bridge. I'm now standing at a monumental bridge. I've now used my body as a structure, respected it, built bridges inside to come to places and be able to stand at monumental bridges. Or even, I put better, that life's getting better by doing, let's say, the bridge work for the purposes of this video. And now I'm able to stand at a bigger bridge with a bigger message with a bigger following to hit more people. And that's by doing the work. That's by building the bridges. That's by facilitating the necessary and important communication and movement. And when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So I have to leave you with that one. And I have to be confident that you will take it in. I have to be confident that you will take it in. I've said it. I've done my part. I've delivered that message. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Comment bridges down below. When you comment bridges down below, right, somebody else sees that, right, and says, okay, cool. This video means something. There's some form of message in this video because people are commenting bridges below. It lets me know that you heard it, which is important for me. It lets people know that something's happening, which is maybe important for them. So you're helping somebody else along. And then through that, we've started building more bridges. For example, I'm getting great comments on the videos, and it's nice because again, it lets me know. And through your comment, you may let somebody else know. So those comments give people confidence. Those comments helps me even trust myself and build more bridges of communication and movement with you. I could go on forever, guys. I can go on forever about the importance of bridges. So I hope, and I even know that message hit. I know I don't need to re-record. I'm hoping the light's right, because today is a beautiful day. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. You know, make sure I got out early. The sun's just coming up, and we give thanks. Hear me now, because who don't hear must feel, and who does hear will heal. Positive is a new gangster, and bridges are forever. Bridges are beautiful, bridges are necessary, bridges are needed to facilitate, give access and movement. Since I've been home, the bridges that I've been building have been amazing. So much so that I'm able to stand here in front of a bigger bridge. I already said that. The people I've met have been amazing. The structures and bridges in place for reconciliation has been amazing. People don't view me as a closed bridge no more. They view me as somebody that facilitates communication and movement. A communicator, a mover, a leader, somebody that spreads a positive message. And this may be my favorite video of all. I'm taking my mum out on her birthday, and I spent so many years away from her, and she's proud of me now. She's proud of the bridges that I built within me. She's proud of the bridges that I built within me. She's proud of the imagery that I produce in terms of just life and even being on camera and creating. And she's listening and hearing the message. Love yourself. Build bridges within yourself, for yourself, by yourself. Understand the bridges that you need to build. Understand why you need to build them. Think about that. Let that sink in, because that is so important. You're not responsible for your trauma, but you are responsible for your healing. Ooh. You're not responsible for your trauma, but you are responsible for your healing. Are you taking responsibility for that?